Oh, come on.
Beautiful burners out here. I am Tiffany Phillips. I started out back in December 1st as the regional field director here in Oklahoma, the only staffer for Bernie Sanders 2016. And look at this. I'm one of those folks that started, like probably a lot of you, with a grassroots local movement. We had an event July 29th when the senator held a live stream event around the country. And we had it at the Transport Workers Union Hall here in town with about 150 people. But look at how we grew in Tulsa. So I want to thank you so much for being here. And going to a rally like this is one thing, but we need to elect Senator Bernie Sanders as our next president. And I have the question here, who wants to elect Senator Sanders? Raise your hand. Now leave all those hands in the air. Keep them up and put that hand and put it into a fist. If you can do this and knock on a door, you can help him win here in Oklahoma. Now, who all's ready to help us win? So, this weekend is the last chance we have here to help elect him as our president. So we need all of you knocking every possible door you can this Saturday, Sunday, and Monday, as well as Election Day, Tuesday, March 1st. So I want everyone here to take out your phone and text your name, the county you live in, and which days you can help to 408-888-5033, and a local organizer will be following up with you. That number again is 408-888-5033. It's only with you that we win this. So now I'm going to introduce former state senator and our superdelegate here in Oklahoma, Miss Connie Johnson.
All right, Oklahoma! Woo! It is an honor and a privilege to be here. Thank you so much. We've got two quick things to do. You had one assignment already, right? Get your phones back out. We want to show Bernie what 27 looks like in Oklahoma, all right? All right, let's show him. Text 82623. Text 82623. That will allow you to make a $10 contribution right now. This is how we do it, right? You are involved and you are engaged. I'm so happy to be here. I'm State Senator Connie Johnson, and all of us want to, thank you, all of us want to talk about why we love Bernie, right? All of those reasons. Well, we're here tonight to show him why we love him. So when he comes out tonight, let's let him know how much we appreciate the positions he's willing to take that affect us as a people and not the government. Let's let him hear it. Yeah! Yeah! And so, tonight, without further ado, I bring to you, fellow Oklahomans, the next president of the United States, Senator Bernie Sanders! Woo! Yeah! Yeah, let's bring him out. Keep it going.
Thank you, Tulsa. What a fantastic crowd. And I want to thank all of you for being here and the few thousand people who are outside trying to get in. Let me thank Tiffany Phillips, and let me especially thank Connie Johnson for all of the great work that she has been doing. Oklahoma, are you ready to make history on Tuesday? What we are about is making a political revolution, and Oklahoma can help us move in that direction. Okay, when I look out at this crowd, I don't think there's any way we're going to lose on Tuesday. This campaign has taken on the financial establishment, and let me tell you, Wall Street is getting nervous. We have taken on the political establishment, we've taken on the media establishment, and our momentum is growing every day. We started this campaign 9.5 months ago. We were 3% in the polls, 3%. Today, in the last week, there have been 3 separate polls which nationally has us in the lead. And the reason I think that we are doing so well is that people are tired of the same old establishment politics. They are tired of the same old establishment economics. And they understand that what is needed in this country are millions of people to come together to demand that our government represents all of us, not just a few wealthy campaign contributors. This campaign is gaining momentum because we're doing something very, very radical. We are listening to the system. Who are tired of the hatred and the bigotry being thrown at them. Who are tired of living in the shadows and want a path toward citizenship. Now, what this campaign is about is telling you the truth. And sometimes the truth is not pleasant. Sometimes we'd rather sweep it under the rug. But you don't go forward as a nation unless we fully understand what is going on. What is going on, and I'm the only candidate for president who will tell you, is that no president, not Bernie Sanders or anyone else, can bring about the changes this country needs alone. This campaign is not electing somebody for president and then the people withdrawing and forgetting about political involvement. What this campaign is an understanding that because of the power of Wall Street, and their endless supply of money, the corporate system whose greed is destroying our economy, wealthy campaign contributors who have enormous power over the political and economic system. The only way we make the change this country needs is when millions of people stand up and fight back and demand the government to represent all of us. And that is, as all of you know, how real change always takes place. Change, real change, never starts at the top on down. It always starts from the bottom on up. And that is what this campaign is about. It is a campaign that says to Wall Street and the billionaire class, you cannot have it all. It is a campaign that understands that 100 years ago and more, workers came together to form unions because they were tired of being treated like animals. It is a campaign that understands that 150 years ago, African Americans and their white allies began the process of saying that in America we will not tolerate racism and bigotry. It is a campaign that understands that women have advanced because 100 years ago, women said, sorry, we are going to have the right to vote. And women and their male allies said, in America, women will not be second-class citizens. They will be able to have the jobs they want, go to the schools they want, and millions of people demand that. And what change is about, and this is how change occurs. If we were in this room 10 years ago, not a long time ago, 10 years ago, and if somebody stood up and said that gay couples would be able to be married all over this country, okay, excuse me, we have a medical issue over here. Can we get a medic over here? Do we have a medic or a doctor in the room? Okay, a medic is attending someone right now. You know, a lot of people have been here for a long, long time. Okay, but I think the person is being escorted out now. Is that right? We okay? Okay. So what this campaign is about is understanding that we can't do it alone, that all of us are in this together, that we are taking on people with incredible wealth and incredible power. And the only antidote to that, the only way we defeat that, is when we do not allow the Trumps of the world to divide us up. When we stand together as black and white and Latino and Asian American and Native American, and when that happens, the truth is that a united people can never be defeated. And that's what this campaign is about. You know, I know that here in Oklahoma, you're pretty big into football, right? But here's the difference. Here's the difference between what we're doing tonight and a football game. In a football game, when you turn on the TV, you are a spectator watching great athletes. In a democracy, you are the athletes. You are the quarterback. You know, a lot of people have forgotten what democracy is about. Democracy is a pretty radical idea. And it's the idea that we don't have a king or a queen or a czar determining our future. It is the people determining our future. But if people don't get involved in the political process, if people don't vote, there is a political vacuum. That vacuum will be filled by well-paid lobbyists and campaign contributors. Our job is to make certain that the government of the United States of America represents us, not just the 1%. When we began this campaign, people said, well, Bernie, you got a great hairdo. You look like a president. But they said, despite your great hair and your GQ type of outfit, they said, how can you possibly win when you do not have a super PAC? And what we said is, we don't need a super PAC. We have the people. And something absolutely amazing has happened over the last 9 months. We said, look, we're not going to have a super PAC. We don't represent billionaires or corporate America or Wall Street. But we're going to have to raise some money. And you know what happened? Over the last 9 months, this campaign has received 4 million individual contributions. And you know what the average contribution is? What it is. So to quote Abraham Lincoln at Gettysburg, this is a campaign of the people, by the people, and for the people. street or big campaign donors telling us what we have to do. We're going to listen to the people who contributed $27. And when we talk about why this campaign has developed so much momentum, it has a lot to do with the issues that we're talking about. And what we are talking about is that in America today, we have a corrupt campaign finance system where billionaires and their super PACs are undermining American democracy. Now, you can be a progressive, you can be a conservative, you can be a moderate, but very few people in this country believe that American democracy is about billionaires buying elections. And that is why, together, we are going to overturn this disastrous Citizens United Supreme Court decision. And this campaign is not only about overturning a corrupt campaign finance system, it is about ending a rigged economy. Today in Oklahoma and in Vermont and all over this country, millions of people are working longer hours for lower wages, while almost all new wealth and income is going to the top 1%. So I've got a radical idea. Are you ready for it? Together, we are going to create an economy that works for working families, not just the 1%. And when we look at what goes on in this country, it is not just the corrupt campaign finance system, not just the rigged economy. It is also a criminal justice system which is broken. We have 2.2 million Americans in jail. We spend $80 billion a year locking up people. It's time for real reform of a broken criminal justice system. And why this campaign is doing so well is because the American people look around them and they say, how does it happen in America that today the top 1% owns almost as much wealth as the bottom 90%? How does it happen that the 20 wealthiest people in this country own more wealth than the bottom half of America, 150 million Americans? How does it happen that one family, the Walton family of Walmart, owns more wealth than the bottom 40%? Now let me say a word about the Walton family. You know, you'll hear from my Republican colleagues about welfare abuse, how poor people rip off the welfare system. Let me tell you who the major recipient of welfare in America is. It is the Walton family. Many of their employees are paid wages so low that they end up on Medicaid, food stamps, and in subsidized housing. And you pay taxes to subsidize what the Walton family does not pay their workers. So I say to the Walton family, the wealthiest family in America, get off of welfare, pay your workers a living wage. And when we talk about a living wage, let's be clear. The federal minimum wage of $7.25 an hour is a starvation wage. In my view, anyone who works 40 hours a week or longer should not be living in poverty. And that is why, together, we are going to raise the minimum wage to a living wage, $15 an hour over the next few years. And I hope that every man in this room will stand with the women and fight for pay equity for women workers. There is no rational economic reason why women are making 79 cents on the dollar compared to men. It's only old-fashioned sexism, and let's end it. And when we talk about the economy, please understand that the figures you see in the newspaper about official unemployment do not tell the whole truth. Official unemployment is 5%. But if you add to that number those people who have given up looking for work and those people who are working part-time when they want to work full-time, real unemployment is close to 10%. And then on top of that, you have a tragedy of youth unemployment in this country. Real youth unemployment for white kids who graduated high school between 17 and 20 years of age is 33%. Latino kids, 36%. African American kids, 51%. And if anybody in this room thinks there is not a direct correlation between very, very high youth unemployment and the fact that we have so many people in jail, you would be mistaken. So are you ready for another radical idea? Together, we are going to invest in jobs and education for our youth, not jails and incarceration. At the end of our first term, we will end the disgrace of having more people in jail than any other country. Now, I'm sure you have a lot of Republican candidates running all over Oklahoma. And they're talking about a lot of things. They're talking about how we got to cut Social Security, how we got to cut Medicare and Medicaid, and how we have to give huge tax breaks, and I mean huge, to the top 0.2%. And Republicans also talk about family values. You ever hear them? They love families. But I want everybody here to be crystal clear about what Republicans mean when they talk about family values. What they are saying is that no woman in this room, in this state, in this country should have the right to control her own body. We disagree. What they are saying is that the federal government should defund Planned Parenthood. I think we should expand funding. And what the Republicans are saying when they talk about family values is that our gay brothers and sisters should not have the right to marry. I disagree. Jane and I have been married for 27 years. We have 4 great kids and 7 beautiful grandchildren. And when I talk about family values, I talk about ending the international embarrassment of the United States being one of the very few countries in the entire world that does not guarantee paid family and medical leave. A woman today in Oklahoma or in Vermont has given birth to a beautiful baby. But if that woman is working class, if she is low income, in a week or 2 weeks, she is going to have to separate herself from her newborn baby, go back to work, to earn enough income. That is not a family value. That is the opposite of a family value. So together, what we are going to do is pass legislation now in the Congress guaranteeing 3 months paid family and medical leave. And when we talk about the economy and know how many millions of people are unemployed or underemployed, it seems clear to me that we need a massive federal jobs program to put our people back to work. We should be hiring teachers, not firing teachers. All of you know the disaster that is now taking place in Flint, Michigan. But if anybody here thinks that Flint, Michigan is the only city in America with a collapsing infrastructure, you would not be right. We need to invest in rebuilding our water systems, our wastewater plants, our roads, our bridges, our rail system. And when we do that, we create millions of decent paying jobs. Now, when I talk about a corrupt campaign finance system, a rigged economy, and a broken criminal justice system, all of that comes together in one brief story I would like to tell you. Last month, Goldman Sachs, one of the large financial institutions on Wall Street. You have heard of Goldman Sachs. They reached an agreement with the federal government for $5 billion. $5 billion. And they reached that agreement because they were guilty of selling worthless packages of subprime mortgages. So you have a major Wall Street firm, and they're not the only one. Other banks have paid even larger fines, who are essentially fraudulent and crooked operations. Point number two, you want to hear about political power? Over the last 20 years, Goldman Sachs has given to the federal government under Democratic and Republican administrations secretaries of the Treasury and other high-ranking government officials who come from Wall Street, go to government, and then go back to Wall Street. Point number three, when you talk about a corrupt campaign finance system, Goldman Sachs has made millions of dollars in contributions to candidates they think will help them. Point number four, and maybe the one that galls the American people the most. Today in Oklahoma or in Vermont, somebody gets picked up for possession of marijuana. That person will have a criminal record, a police record, for the rest of his or her life. It will impact their ability to get a job and other aspects of their life. But if you are a Wall Street executive, and if you engaged in reckless and illegal behavior which helped destroy our economy, resulting in millions of Americans losing their jobs, their homes, and their life savings, if you are that executive, you don't get a police record, you get a raise in your salaries. And that is what a corrupt campaign finance system and a rigged economy and a broken criminal justice system is about. And you know what we're going to do? We're going to bring justice back to the criminal justice system. When we talk about our country and our future, everybody here knows that if we are going to compete effectively in the global economy, we need the best educated workforce in the world. And there is something very and profoundly wrong when hundreds of thousands of bright young people in Oklahoma, in my state, all over this country, have the ability and the desire and the qualifications to get a college degree, but they can't go to college for one reason: their families lack the funds. That is unfair to those young people, and it is unfair to the future of this country. Now, 50, 60 years ago, you had a high school degree, you could go out and get a good job. Today, in many respects, a college degree is the equivalent of what a high school degree was 50 or 60 years ago. It seems to me, therefore, that when we talk about public education in the year 2016, it is not good enough to talk about first grade through 12th grade. We have got to be talking about making public colleges and universities tuition free. And the other part of that equation is that millions of our people today are being crushed by outrageously high levels of student debt. Anybody here with student debt? Whoa. Okay. I have talked to people all over this country, 30,000 in debt, 50,000, 100, talk to a doctor, graduated medical school, $300,000. Talk to a dentist, graduated dental school, $400,000 in debt. My friends, this is crazy stuff. People should not be punished for getting an education. They should be rewarded for getting an education. People should not be having to pay off student debt, 20, 30% of their limited income, paying off student debt for decades. Crazy stuff. So what we are going to do is to allow people who have student debt to refinance their loans at the lowest interest rates they can find. Significantly reducing student debt in America. Now, people say to me, and I hear this every day, hey, Bernie, you're Santa Claus. You're giving away free tuition at public colleges. You want to lower student debt. How are you going to pay for it? Well, let me tell you how we're going to pay for it. We're going to pay for it by imposing a speculation tax on Wall Street. When Wall Street crashed this economy, they got a bailout from Congress. Now it is their turn to help the working families of this country. Now, I recognize that I am in Oklahoma, and I recognize that not everybody in this state will agree with me. But let me tell you something that I believe very strongly. I am a member of both the Senate Environmental Committee and the Senate Energy Committee. I have talked to scientists all over our country and all over the world. And here is the simple truth, although I know that not all of your elected officials in Oklahoma will agree. But here is the truth. And the truth is climate change is real. Climate change is caused by human activity. Climate change is already causing devastating problems in our country and around the world. And in my view, we have got to stand up to the fossil fuel industry. We have got to work with countries all over the world, Russia, China, India, other countries, to transform our energy system away from fossil fuel to energy efficiency and sustainable energy. Now, I have introduced legislation that would do that. And included in that legislation is the understanding that many workers may be hurt by that transition. We have got to protect those workers and make sure they get good jobs. But at the end of the day, we have a moral obligation to make certain that the planet that we leave our children and grandchildren is a planet that is healthy and habitable. Now, during this campaign, I have been criticized for many, many things. Every day, 5 times a day, and that's great. Love it. Doesn't bother me. And one of the areas that I have been criticized for is saying that I believe our great country should do what every other major country, England, France, Germany, Italy, Holland, Scandinavia, Canada, All of these countries, every major country on earth, guarantees health care to all of its people. Today, despite the gains of the Affordable Care Act, and there have been many gains, and I helped write that bill, we still have a long way to go. 29 million Americans, zero health insurance. Many of you underinsured with high deductibles, high co-payments. And in America today, we pay by far the highest prices in the world for prescription drugs. We're getting ripped off by the pharmaceutical industry. Situation is so crazy that 1 out of 5 people who get a prescription from their doctors cannot even afford to fill those prescriptions. That's crazy. Now that is why I believe that this country has got to move forward to a Medicare for all single-payer program. Today, we spend far more per capita on health care than do the people of any other country, almost 3 times more than the British, 50% more than the French, far more than the Canadians. If we move to a Medicare for all system, we can provide quality care to all of our people and save the middle-class families thousands of dollars a year on their health care costs. In America today and in Congress, we've got a major fight over national priorities. My Republican friends think that it's a great idea to give tax breaks to billionaires and then cut programs that the middle class and working people desperately need. Our Republican friends think that we should make it harder for young people to get to college, not easier. What our job is, and what this campaign is about, is thinking big, not small. It is understanding that in the last 30 years, there has been a massive transfer of wealth from the pockets of working people into the hands of the top 0.1%. And our job together is to transfer that money back into the pockets of working families. Now, some people think, that I am thinking too big. But don't tell me that in America we cannot guarantee health care to all of our people. Don't tell me that we don't have the guts to take on the insurance companies and the drug companies. Don't tell me that veterans in this country have to sleep out on the street. Don't tell me that African Americans have got to be fearful about walking the streets of America. Don't tell me that in America we cannot make sure that all of our young people have the ability to go to college regardless of their income. So here is the bottom line. The people on top are more than delighted when ordinary Americans don't vote and don't participate in the political process. They don't want to hear from the working families of this country. They don't want to see or feel the pain of the working families of this country. But our job is to tell them that those days are gone. They are not going to continue to get virtually all of the new income and wealth we produce. Now, when we stand together, black and white and Latino and African American and Native American, when we stand together, we can accomplish anything. This campaign is not just electing the president, it is transforming a nation. And on March 1st here in Oklahoma, you are going to have the opportunity to make history. You're going to have the opportunity to help lead this country in a political revolution. We can win here in Oklahoma, and a victory here is the path to victory nationally. Thank you all for being here. Let's go forward together.